Hello, it's Dr. Rhonda Johnson, and today is Saturday, August 15th, 2020. And today I'm going to be talking about stress management during this coronavirus pandemic. And here's one more tool to put in your toolbox, a technique called F.A.C.E by a best-selling author, physician, psychotherapist, Dr. Russ Harris. Now, this F.A.C.E is like self-help therapy, but I really like it because it's practical and you could use it for things other than COVID. So here we go. F.A.C.E stands for focus on what's in your control. A means acknowledge your thoughts and feelings. C is called coming back into your body. E is engage in what you're doing. That's the F.A.C.E part. Now for the COVID. C stands for committed action. O is for opening up. V is for values. I is for identify resources. And D is for disinfect and distance. Now let's do a little deeper dive one by one into each of these concepts. So I really like this, focusing on what's in your control, because this COVID pandemic affects us in so many different ways. Physically, emotionally, economically, socially, psychologically, you name it. And, over the course of this pandemic, most people have had a little bit of fear, worry, anxiety, and that's normal. We could find ourselves worrying about the world, the election, if we're going to get sick, if we're going to lose our jobs, what's going to happen when the children go back to school. Are we going to lose our home? There's plenty of stuff for us to worry about. That may not be your worry. I'm sure you could list your own. But guess what? You can't control what happens in the future. You can't control coronavirus. You can't control how it's going to infect the neighborhood, your friends, your family, the world, or how the government responds to any of this. Only thing you can do is focus on what you do in the here and now. Because guess what? What you do in the here and now can make a huge difference to yourself and to those around you. The reality is we have far more control on our behaviors than we have on our thoughts and our feelings. So our number one goal in all of this is to take control of our behavior in the right here and now, in this moment, at this time. So how do you do this? Think about what behaviors do you need to take control of. Be honest with yourself. Maybe take a minute to pause and give this some thought and write it down. Then go into acknowledging your thoughts and your feelings. Acknowledge whatever is showing up inside you, be it anger, be it feelings, emotions, sadness, urges. Put this in words, write it down if you need to. And while you're acknowledging your thoughts and feelings, do this exercise. It's called coming back into your body and connecting with your physical body. This is like grounding yourself. And you can do this by pushing your feet hard into the floor, or straightening up your back and your spine, or shrugging your head from side to side, or rolling your shoulders up and down. The bottom line is you draw yourself back into that moment, or engage in some deep breathing, and you put yourself here in the present. And then you engage in what you're doing. You get a sense of where you are, and you're refocusing. That's the beauty of it. It's just simple. You're refocusing your mind off of all that stuff that you're worrying and obsessing over, and you're focusing on your body. You're getting control over your thoughts, and you're engaging in what you're doing in that moment. So I like the thinking of engaging your five senses. Look around the room and see what you see. Notice 5 things. Notice 3 or 4 things that you can hear. Put something in your mouth like a mint or a piece of lemon or lime, and taste it and smell it. So notice what you're doing and give this full attention when you're in the moment. So that's what the F.A.C.E is all about. It's called dropping anchor. It takes a little bit of practice, but once you learn how to drop anchor, You can do this to weather whatever storm you're facing in your life, whatever is difficult, your thoughts, your feelings, your emotion, because what it does is it grounds you and it steadies you in that moment, in that difficult situation, disrupting rumination, worrying, obsession, and focusing your activities on the task at hand, what you're doing. And the more you learn how to anchor yourself in the here and now, the more you have control over your behaviors in the here and now, which makes it a little easier to do the next series of steps, according to Dr. Russ Harris, which is the COVID part. C stands for committed action. O stands for opening up. V is for values. I is for identifying resources. D is for disinfect and distance. You know all about that. So let's go through committed action. That means that you're being effective and you're guided by your core values. It's actions that you take because it's important to you. Even if it's difficult, you're going to commit yourself to it because you've dropped anchor, you're having control over your actions, and you're going to commit yourself to doing something that matters to you. Now for COVID, it might be deciding to protect yourself through the 3 W's, wash your hands, wearing your mask, and watch your distance. But again, it's maybe making a decision to be intentional, to look after somebody, to text someone, to call, to send a card, to do something to help somebody else in distress. Can you help somebody out? Yeah, I think so. Can you comfort and soothe somebody? I think so. So, while you're spending a little bit more time at home, if you're in self-quarantine or whatever, you can commit yourself to something active. Maybe commit yourself to staying fit, maybe cooking healthy, whatever that is. Okay, so the next thing is opening up. Opening up means making room for those difficult feelings and learning how to be kind to yourself. You're going to have sometimes when you feel sad, you feel guilty, lonely, frustrated, confused, you name it, what's on your list. We can't stop these feelings from arising. That's normal. But we can open them up and make room for them. Acknowledge them. Tell them that, yes, you're allowed to be here for a little while. But remember to treat yourself kindly. So, if you've ever flown on a plane, they always tell you before you take off, in the event of emergency, put your own oxygen mask on before you assist others. When you're kind to yourself, you're putting your oxygen mask on. And guess what? You can be a lot more effective for somebody else when you're taking care of yourself. V stands for values. Whatever you do for committed action should be guided by your core values. What do you stand for now or in this crisis? What kind of person do you want to be as you go through this? How do you want to come out of this? Is there any lessons that you want to learn? Look for ways to sprinkle these values into your everyday and let them inform and guide and motivate you in whatever committed actions you decide to take. I stands for identifying resources, whatever it is that you need to get through this. If you need help, if you need assistance, if you need advice, if you need support from your social network, make sure that you're identifying what you need to get through this. And D, I'm not going to spend much time on disinfect and distance physically because you already know that. So again, this is one more tool in your toolbox, Face COVID. I am going to put the links for the simplistic YouTube video as well as for the free ebook. I hope you add this to your toolbox, and I hope you learn how to drop anchor and use these tools whenever you find yourself just getting a little bit under from this coronavirus pandemic. Okay, this is Dr. Rhonda Johnson. My views are my own, but this is not my material. This is Face COVID, developed by Dr. Russ Harris. And again, it will be referenced in my post. Stay safe, stay well, stay alive, and have a blessed day.